So in this video, I kind of just want to talk real briefly about how my DIY vapor blaster works and how most vapor blasters that you can buy in the retail space work. But of course, this is so much cheaper just to build it yourself. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm actually moving. You can see empty shelves, and I'm in this garage for another week and a half, and then this gets packed up and I'll probably get shoved in the corner of my new garage, and I probably won't get to using this thing. Who knows, man? I got a lot going on. So anyway, in this video, when I came out with, hey, I got a wood vapor blaster, it was like 45 minutes long, and the functionality on how this works kind of got lost in the middle, and I don't think a lot of people were really able to see it. Also, I'm doing this video because there are free tutorials on YouTube for vapor blasters, but I watch them and I'm like, dude, you can do that so much better, that you can do much better. And I put a lot of thought into this, and this is fully automated. Some of these DIY setups are so basic, you know, they don't have a lot of these features that I think are nice to have. And of course, you don't need half this stuff on here. I got this thing loaded like a Cadillac, and we'll go through all that. But anyway, let's go through how this works. And for those of you who don't know what vapor blasting is, it's water and media mixed into a slurry, accelerated with air at the gun, just like dry blasting, but it provides a really nice finish. And there's several advantages to going to wet. You can use finer medias, higher CFM, more pressure, and it's a delicate process. So and it flushes away stuff. Okay, so it's awesome for aluminum, for carburetors, aluminum engine parts. I mean, there's so many uses for this. So anyway. All right, so I got a switch here. It turns it on. There's a whole fully automated control box. And my plans show you how to wire up every single wire to every terminal, everything, and how to test the control box. This is 15 hours worth of video tutorials on how to build this. Every nut and bolt I show you how to do. Okay, so anyway, the machine's on. And at this point, I'll tell you what's activated and what's not. So this is a closed loop system, meaning it has all the water it needs, and you don't have to hook it up to a garden hose. If it was open loop, you have to hook it up to a garden hose, and then the water that gets purged out of here has to get dumped. It's excess water, but this just continually recirculates. You can do open loop if you want. I was open loop at one point, but winter came and I didn't want to drag the frozen garden hose out here, so I like closed loop. It's more complicated, it's more expensive, but man, it is freaking awesome because you just walk up to it, it's ready to go. So there's an on-demand pump, and you can rinse. Okay, so I can rinse all day long, and what I mean by rinse is like rinse parts, right? After you're done blasting, you can clean them off and rinse down the cabinet and whatnot. So this just keeps recirculating, all right? So, and it's a variable pump, so it's on demand. You can go a lot or just a little trickle. Okay, so that's that. All right. When you're ready to blast, there's a few things. There's your air pressure. Let me turn on the air. Okay, so over here I got a regulator to control the air. I'm lefty, so I hold the gun with my left hand and I put it here on the right. Okay, so now you can blast. So all you got to do is hit the foot pedal, and when you hit the foot pedal, several things happen. The blasting occurs, the wiper motor turns on, and also I got a fresh rinse, a little water window squirter. It squirts water on the glass, and I have an adjustment knob. And there's all sorts of nozzles you can get for here on how you want this thing to squirt on your glass, but I just have a straight stream. So let's go ahead and step on the pedal. So you can see I can open this guy up, but usually a trickle does just fine. You know, something like that. You can turn the wiper off, and there's a high speed. So you can turn it off, there's a low, and there's a high. All right, and then here's there's the blasting. Okay, so when you're done blasting, you can still rinse. You can even rinse while you're blasting. Now, the thing with closed loop, and what I've done is I have an automated valve that keeps the slurry in this bin until 2 minutes after you're done blasting. This valve opens and purges water into your closed loop bins, your fresh rinse bins. And the reason for that is all the slurry is mixed up, and you don't want to purge after you're done blasting or while you're blasting, because it's a slurry mix. So you're going to wait 2 minutes for the media to drop out, and then relatively clean water gets purged out into the tanks there, okay? And there's some skimmers in there and whatnot to try to drop out the media. So there's a 2 minute wait. So after I let off my foot pedal, there's a custom timer that I sell, pre-programmed. All you got to do is wire up 4 wires or whatever, and it goes in the control box, and after 2 minutes, you're going to hear a little psh, and it's going to dump water out. So in the meantime, I'll wait, but well, let's put a little more water in here. Okay, we're just waiting on the 2 minute mark here. All right, so you heard the air exhaust, and now it's puking out some water. It's relatively clean, goes through these skimmer boxes, and that's the reservoir for the fresh rinse. Now at this point, you can continue rinsing. I mean, you can always rinse until this pit gets too high, and I have an audible alarm that you can put on there that tells you, whoa, it's too full, you gotta dump some out, purge some out. And in that way, you can keep track of how much water you have. Now, another thing the timer does is I can cancel that water purge at any time when you go to blast again. It cancels it and it shuts the valve. So every time you step on the pedal, it resets it, okay? So that's pretty cool. It's pretty automated. You know, after you're done blasting, you can go walk away and do something else and let this thing kind of reset in terms of the water, and then you can get back to it. One more thing that I got in here that you can't see is I do have a sump heater. So I have a water heater in this pit, and you can heat the water all the way up to boiling if you want, depending on what kind of heating element you choose and how much current you want to throw at it. But basically what that is for, some people use it to help degrease. I use it personally in the winter. My garage is heated to 45 degrees, and when I come out here, the 45-degree water will go through the gloves and make your arms uncomfortable after a certain point. So I bump up the temperature till my arms are comfortable, and that's it, just to take the chill off of the water. So that's helpful. So that's pretty much it. That's how it functions. I've built several of these. I got plans for the Harbor Freight machine or any machine, and then this thing is built completely out of plywood. And I also I got the 42 by 30 plans, and I got 40 by 60. If you want to build a bigger one, those plans are available in the upper right. And it's going on 2 years for this. And I waterproofed it. It's strong, doesn't leak a drop, and I can't believe this works because it saves a ton of money. Years ago, I built this for $3,000. It's comparable to $7,000-8,000 retail machines. That's how much they cost, and I think they're even more now because everything in life right now is more money. Metal prices are up, everything's up, it's hard to get, supply chain issues. It's crazy, man. So anyway, that's a little bit of how this machine works. There's that thing again, 2 minute mark, and it just pukes it out. So let me know what you think, comment below. I don't know if there's any other features that I can really freaking add to this that would really make it worthwhile, but I think it has everything I need. So thanks for watching.